Let me share my screen.
And
This meeting is being recorded by the host or participant. Oh, man.
oh,
So,
you're gonna make that?
this is now Cusp Productions, all thing music and crypto, also as well as the MetaVerse.
Take it away, Marty.
On time to the subject.
Right. So, real fast, James was talking about AltSpace. Now, AltSpace uses Unity. And do you think that that is easier than using Horizon Worlds using Unity?
So for our skill set as a human in the metaverse, we're more accustomed to Unity and graphical work, as you know.
It's more
Right.
flexible, isn't it? Unity, you can actually sort of create from scratch rather than using what Horizon Worlds has.
If I were to hang a picture on the wall, I take the picture and I hang it on the wall. So what we're learning with Horizon is you're starting everything. You're God in Horizon World, right? In your world, you're God. You're taking a speck of sand and you're building a couch out of it.
Right.
And that requires a certain amount of dexterity and intelligence on the artistic side. Some people are not going to have it. I don't. I don't.
Yeah, it's definitely an artistic kind of platform. I'm sure they will pivot a little bit in the future,
They're
and
very early on that
bring in
side.
certain assets. Like certain other blocks. Hopefully, they do that because man, I have been through this place and seen too many couches that just are so oversized and garbage looking. But you know what? That's okay. So
Our goal with the metaverse, I don't know if you, would be to have, and I don't want to jump on your subject, but we want real estate in a multitude of avenues.
right, and I think what we can do is create a couple worlds in Horizon and then scout out VR chat as well. Because what we can do in VR chat is a little bit different. Um, not much more important because what we can do in Horizon Worlds is bring in more traffic because we have an upper advantage.
Right.
As to the 200,000 plus worlds that are inside of VR chat compared to the 200 plus worlds in alt uh is it alt space? Yeah. So alt space 200,000 or VR chat whatever it is, and Horizon has 200 plus maybe
Now,
300 now.
if you use the up and coming Foo Fighters concert as an example,
Yeah.
as of today, there's 34,000 people registered to attend this concert in Horizon itself, right?
In Horizon or alt space?
In Horizon.
It's Horizon.
Wow, okay.
My question is, what do you think that 33,000 represent? Is that 75% of the user base in
Oh
Horizon?
heck no. No.
Because we're saying
Horizon,
like 300,000 over at alt space, right?
yeah. So Horizon's kind of taking the game and stealing the platform. Now, people are having a hard time creating, which is, good for us, bad for them.
Yeah.
And it really gives us the real estate. So free real estate. Music and Metaverse Part 2. Free real estate. So the Metaverse Horizon Worlds is a great way to build a great place and bring in as much as 32 people into your place at a time. I wouldn't do that. I would never suggest to bring in 32 people. I'd go at 24, 25, make that a lobby. And then you can transition, when your lobby's filled up, a new lobby will open up. So The one thing I want to see in Horizon Worlds is for the editors and testers and stuff like that, world editors and testers, to be able to hop lobbies. Because we can't do that right
Hello,
now.
everybody. Sorry for interrupting.
Hello, hello.
Ciao, Martin. Ciao, everybody.
And I really want to see that because I believe is in VR chat that you're able to go to your other lobbies because you are the administration. And as the administration, you have to be able to go to your other lobbies to see how these other people are doing or assign certain people to like moderators to these other places.
Well,
We can
explain
filter
explain
out.
that explain that a little bit for people who don't really know what lobbies are. So
Okay, so like in Discord, if you go to a lobby in Discord, a lobby is a voice channel, okay? And it gets filled up, you have to go to the next voice channel. But it's still in your Discord. So as a Discord admin, I can go from one channel to the other channel to see how people are acting and behaving. Now, in Horizon Worlds, I can't do this. I can only be in the lobby that I'm currently in, even though I created the place. So when they make a duplicate lobby of my lobby to put more people in and fill the space up, I can't go over to that lobby and back and forth to see how people are doing. And I wish that would happen, and I hope that they bring that to Horizon, because that is, I believe, in alt space, the ability to do that. We would need to send our team to other lobbies to help out where they can, because there's a lot of kids that come in, and it's an 18+ platform, and we have this really cool mechanism to when a kid comes in, and if we find out about it, we can tag them basically as that's a kid, and they get sent to the back of the building where they're kind of trapped in a cage, right? And there's a couple downsides to that. And one of them is that if you send somebody to the back and, you know, they're locked up basically, they're banned from your place, they can't get in. So as soon as they enter, they go straight to the back. That's something that we're working on. But if you put, let's say, 5 kids back there and nobody's monitoring them, that's kind of on you because you put them back there, right? So we would have to say, okay, there's 5 kids in your lobby, and it's also taking up space. So you have 25 slots for people, but there's 5 kids in the back that are just hanging out with each other. You just created a new space for them. I think that it would be better to crunch that space down to a point where maybe one person can fit at a time, so that when another person stacks on top of another person, it starts like glitching out really bad, and all they want to do is leave. There's really nothing I would rather do than make them want to go somewhere else, not sit there and take up space or even talk to each other. I don't want them talking to each other. So I could probably make it to where I can make this certain jail space, you know, the ban area, where they're muted and frozen. They can't move and they can't speak. And so I think that's the best thing to move forward with, keeping kids out of the place. And I think that we should write a script in there that says, hey, if you're in this space for 1 minute, that you automatically get kicked out of the lobby. I think that would be something that would be good to do. So it bounces you straight out of the lobby. It literally boots you. And then when they come back in again. Yeah. And I know this is complicating for me to talk about, but if you're in game with me, you'll go, I understand what that means now. So
We identify that
I've already put up with enough kids.
right? Oh, Swayze, hey.
Yeah, hey, yeah, sorry. The link took forever for me to load.
That's fine. So what were you saying, James?
I was wondering, how do we identify that they're kids?
They speak. They speak.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
They come in and they're like, hey guys, what's up? You know, hi. And we're like, nope.
pretty easy.
And if now we have misidentified adults as kids before. That's happened. And some teenagers that are 18 sound like they're literally 14, and some girls
People tell me I sound like
they're young.
16.
Well, you do.
I'm not. I'm in my 20s.
Right? So
Or high pitcher.
this is free real estate, like I said, and these spaces that we can build can be used for many things and monetary gain. Big time. But how do we build? So there are very few YouTube tutorials, and James pointed that out, and I told him, yeah, that's there's nothing on YouTube really that will really teach you the essentials of the real script. Okay, fine. The essentials, they'll teach you the essentials, the basics and stuff like that. But you want to get into like deep scripting, or like how to do certain teleportation locking devices, which that would help boot people out and stuff like that of your world, or control the masses to where you're not having problems with, racism, sexism, all that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff isn't really just taught on YouTube for some reason. They don't do too many tutorials on that. So I would be willing to teach this team as much as I know, because I've been collecting information on how scripts are done in Horizon Worlds from top scripters in Horizon. So, I've just kind of, James did this to me, and I guess Swayze did this to James. And, I don't know how this went. How did this go? James, who'd you bring in yesterday?
Lazy Mobile.
Okay.
Yes.
So, why isn't he in the group today?
No, he's never attended one of these.
Oh man, he should. He should. And I'm gonna bring that in now. So, let's go to people. And back to how do we build? I just want to end that with, it's a learning curve for anyone interested in creating and collaborating in the metaverse, and I really do think that I should help you guys understand a little bit of that, because I kind of dove into that big time. So people, Horizon Worlds isn't just a place to go and make a great place for yourself, but it's also to meet great people who share common ideas. And this sounds kind of familiar. I believe it's time to bring more people on board with Cusp Productions. I've met way too many people that share common ideas. And they're literally there just collaborating. And they're not asking for money. They're having fun doing what they love doing. And if it makes money, it makes money.
Now, Martin, if I may ask a question.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, two questions. So we're on the topic of people. So bear in mind that my questions are from my experiences on numerous social VR platforms such as VRChat, Neos, other places such as like the Facebook environment, and a place for children like Rec Room and stuff like that. My first question, how do you control the masses when there are people that are either not a part of the dev team or just their own small community that have those abilities to be able to program something such as a mod injected into the game, so it allows them to do things that normal people just can't, whether that be to prevent them from crashing if someone makes an avatar that can just crash the whole world, or remove people, or how do you control those situations?
So in Horizon Worlds, people aren't going to be able to do that to your place. People aren't going to be able to crash your place. And moderation teams is when you set up a Facebook, you can definitely set up a whole team of moderators. And if things get out of hand, see, moderators, I don't need to make them editors to make them moderators. So they can't just go in and mess with my world. We have script to make them moderators. And they can move people in and out and stuff like that. And if we get wind, that something's happening, then our guests, or let's not say guests, but our members on Facebook will immediately alert the staff that there's a moderator that's just out of control, and we can take away the moderation rights to that moderator. Just like
Well,
Discord.
yeah, but there's always an opportunity or chance for someone to just inject a program into the game, because that's, whether if you're using an actual like legit game engine, that someone could possibly do that. So
that can't happen in Horizon Worlds. It's not
Okay.
something that can happen. Horizon Worlds is basics. You got your shapes, you got your colors, you got your palettes. You
Mhm.
have things that they have put in there, and that's just that. Now, if you're collaborating with somebody, here's a really tricky thing. If you have a really good friend, you think this is your best friend, right? And he's just in there building with you, collaborating with you, or maybe you met somebody and you're just too trusting, and this dude trashes your world. That's on you that you didn't back it up.
Yeah, sorry about yesterday.
Oh my gosh, James, you're so funny, dude. He came into my world and he didn't know what he was doing. That's fine. I had a backup though. Um, he he came in and started deleting all these walls because he got stuck, and he didn't know he was deleting things. There goes my floor. There goes my walls. I'm like, dang it, James, can
So
you
let
hit
me
the
ask you,
undo
where's your
button here?
experience coming from when it comes to like metaverse, if we're talking like virtual reality?
I need you to elaborate that question.
So like, have you like actually been in games such as like VR chat? Have you like actually seen things and stuff like that? Like where's the idea or concept coming from when it comes to like metaverse? Is it actually just like an actual social place, like a VR game or a VR place where you can go and do things, or is it just
So Facebook's Horizon, and they would be mad that I called it Facebook because it's now, Meta. Um, this platform has been something that it's really brand new. Basically, it's kind of old, but it's brand new at the same time because of the launch back in December, and so we're a couple months into that. We have a lot of the upper hand inside of this platform or this app. Okay,
okay?
because not many places have been built yet, and the places that are built are being flooded with people. And if you get a great team inside of Horizon Worlds, then you can build a great place and have a lot of traffic going in and out. But let's go over to Concert Hall. I'm not dodging your question. Your question, I'm going to answer it with the rest of what I'm talking about here. I will be building an auditorium soon inside of Horizon Worlds. What I'm working on now is a small cafe that will have tables, chairs, objects people can interact with. There will be a microphone and a cue that people can go up and sing as well as do poetry or slam poetry. I'll be collaborating with other people and being very careful about that. But there's going to be little levels of, everybody can't just hear everybody. That's going to be annoying, right? So you have 24 people in there just screaming. No, it's not going to happen. So there's going to be tables that if you sit at the table, you can only talk to the person that's at the table. If you go to the floor, then you can then talk to anybody that's on the floor. You can't harass anybody that's doing their slam poetry, or singing. You can't even go up to them. You can't approach them. You can't.
I like that. Maybe
Yeah.
set it up to a point where like if you click the seat and you sit down, the only people you can hear are the people at your table.
And the person that's doing their poetry or singing,
Can't hear you.
right? They can't hear you until they're finished. Then they can hit a button and listen
Yeah.
to what everybody has to say about it. And that's their choice. So they can just walk off the
You've
stage.
eradicated heckling.
Yes. And, leave that to the comedy clubs because that's not something that singers or poets want to really put up with, is heckling. They hate it. And you're going to lose a lot of great people. So your
God, you
social
give Broadway
spaces,
comedy a run for its money.
yeah, your social spaces around the tables, nobody wants to hear what the other table's saying. It's super annoying when I'm in a conversation with Rob and I'm listening to everybody else. I want to talk to Rob. I don't want to talk to Rob and listen to what this other guy's saying who's 10 feet away. So we're gonna limit the whisper space to
Now
basically.
that happened to us last night, right?
Oh, it was super annoying.
We were trying to go have a conversation and people were literally running up to us.
Now I want to let you guys know that I am the only one working on this concept. There is nobody else out there that came publicly forward saying that they're working on this concept. So this will outdo any other comedy clubs out there or singing areas, places, where it's just wild in there. There's animals everywhere because everybody's just goofing off and it's loud, So let's go to branding, and I hope that answered your question, Swayze.
I mean, not entirely. I'm just so you're playing this way. This is Facebook Horizons, right? This is this that MetaVerse thing that Facebook was talking
Yes.
about. Okay, I think my main question was that like, where have you had experience with other VR games? Maybe like
Yes.
VR Chat, Neos. Like, what have you played to like wonder your ideas as far as this
Yes.
experience? Because I'm quite curious to kind of pick your brain.
So I've played Fortnite. I'm just kidding. Anyway.
I was about to say I'm a get up. I'm a lead.
All right. So yeah, but I'm not working on stuff that deals with and dabbles with Unity right now. I'm not doing that. I'm trying to be on the more artistic side, and I'm trying to
Right.
ride the train of something that's brand new, that's flooding in people, and they're having a hard time creating worlds. So I love that for me, not for them, but for me and for our team here, because we have a chance to jump on this train as if it was YouTube in the early stages.
Right.
Right. What
So
you're identifying is that, and he was asking earlier about like hackers, right?
Yeah.
So Horizon Worlds is locked off.
Right.
It's hard enough that I've learned streaming a Cyber FM channel into a radio network because it's so locked off. You are limited to using that artistic Play-Doh to build anything.
Right.
There's no code, there's no if-then, and because there's no if-then, there's no ability to hack an if-then.
right.
But we are
I-
sacrificing ease of use where we need professionals like, at this point, Martin, who's now, I mean, in 1 month, what he's done, a year from now, he's going to be selling ad spots to Uber, hopefully for Cyber FM, right? And he's going to go and be a millionaire.
So
This is eBay in the 90s.
yeah, and to touch up on what James is saying, I really, really, really recommend that anybody in Cusp Productions right now just jumps into and dives into this because, imagine I'm talking about Bitcoin back before Bitcoin took off. I see potential in this. If it dies down, it dies down. I'll switch over to another platform. But right now, I can see the numbers. I've been hearing the numbers are crazy. Coming from certain world creators, and their creations aren't, that great, but they're okay. But they're getting in about 300,000 people a week, and if that isn't good, then I don't know what is. So let's say that Cusp Production starts getting in 300,000 a week. Well, let's go to branding. So we still need help on this one, by the way. Again, branding's super important, as well as house world rules. We do need house world rules. It's way important because we don't want to piss off everybody. And we don't want them to make us mad either. Branding will bring us the most money if we're planning on selling things. If we're planning on selling mugs, shirts, hats, our brand will have to be trademarked. If we go with Plucky Lions Cafe, then we would need to brand Plucky Lion and Plucky Lions Cafe, because that's something that we're going to sell. And we need to make sure what logo we use, that we're sticking to it. Now, I've seen, and I say this because we have certain logos in other worlds that keep changing, and it's kind of irritating the masses, and they're losing their audience. Keep your logo, keep your brand. Here's another thing, and it's just a tip for everybody here. Do not go in and write Miller Lite on your beer bottles, because you're not going to get a sponsorship from Miller Lite if you do that. Because you're already sponsoring them. Why would they say, hey, let's sponsor this world when you're already doing that for free? Right?
Mm-hmm.
So just write beer. And they'll come in and say, hey, if you put Miller Lite, we'll give you $100 a month to do that, to just have that. And, when it comes to who's sponsoring you, you got to write out, go through the terms with them and say, hey, is it just you that's going to let me sponsor? Well, they might say, well, there's going to be no other beer but Miller Lite. And that's okay, whatever. But then Uber comes along and says, who's your sponsors? And you say, Miller Lite. And they're like, okay, is there anything that says that we can't sponsor? And I say no. And then, okay, now we have $200 coming in a month. And that's just for a world that's sitting there on free real estate. And that's not including the branding of selling mugs, t-shirts, everything, where people go to Cusp Production and buy things, or people go to Plucky Music and buy things, or, PluckyLion.com or whatever. That's not including the YouTube subscribers, the TikTok subscribers. It's, because we're going to advertise ourselves in our own world that we build. And this is good for Fabrizio. This is good for me. This is good for James, because Cyber FM is going to go straight up in the concert hall. So people are going to flood to Cyber FM to see what that is. Brought to you by Cyber FM. This is important stuff that we do.
Right. And we want the ability to not limit the audio. Like, so Cyber FM show would absolutely have to be available in Plucky Lions Cafe. And when you, in the business world, do something like that as a barter, right? Because we're all friends and family.
Mm-hmm.
Pepsi comes in and goes, hey, how do I get that? Pepsi is not friends and family.
Right. And when Pepsi comes in and does something like that, we sit down and we have a conversation, because you don't, here's the thing. When you play, oh shoot, what's that old game called? The Cases. And you have to pick your case. What's that game called?
Pyramid?
Uh,
No.
With Howie?
Yeah. I forget.
Deal or no deal?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't want to say, look, I got my case. I'm not going to open anything up. I'm just going to take my case and go. So you're not going to say, hey, Pepsi, this is cool. You're going to say, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to think about it. And they're going to give you time to think about it. While you think about it, you might have some other better offers. Because Pepsi might say, hey, if you do Pepsi, you can't do Coke. If you do Pepsi, you can't do Miller Lite, because we're not cool with that. We want to be center of attention, and they do. They really do. They want to. Uber literally wanted almost a whole entire wall in one of the other builds that we did, and the guy turned him down. He's, I'm not going to do that. Why would I put Uber up here? I don't want $50 a month. I make that already, To me, $50 a month, if nobody else is sponsoring, it's $50 a month. At least there's a sponsor. Now, it depends on the contract. Is it going to be 1 month, 6 months, 1 year? And is it going to disclude any other sponsors? So you got to be careful with that. So,
hey, you got me for all that stuff.
right. What will the end results look like? If we build fast enough and well enough, and I want to emphasize well enough, not just fast enough, but well enough. We don't want to go in there and build oversized couches, oversized pianos. If you've been to my place, you've seen my oversized piano. We want to go in and build realistic looking things, and the end results could end with serious profit. If we start selling NFTs in this place, we can do that. So I was thinking about this. We have a storefront, okay? And people come into the storefront, and they talk to James, who's sitting there at the counter. And they say, okay, now this is a whisper space, of course. And they say they have looked on, they've looked at our stuff, and they say, hey, I want a mug. I really want a mug. I love this place, and I want a mug. And you're like, okay, well, the mug is $10. I need your email address. And so the guy gives you the email address, and you send him a receipt for the mug, and now he just has to PayPal it or whatever, Venmo, whatever it is that we do, what kind of transaction, I don't care how we do it, as long as the booking or the bookkeeping's being, up to date and everything's being filed. We take that we have his address. We ship that to him, and he has a mug from this place, and he can, stream his next Horizon event or whatever, saying, I actually have this mug, and he can show it to people. And this is from this place, T-shirts, sweaters, stuff like that. We can also do NFT things. We can start creating little things that don't make any sense at all, and kind of auction them off. But I need James's help on that. I've had the pleasure of finding out that sponsors reach out to high traffic places. In some cases, those places get sponsored, but this could be a small dollar amount at first. If we grow bigger as Horizon World expands, then I think that we will be on top. So when Horizon Worlds expands and says we're going to add new things and new features, we're going to be the first ones to be able to, all right, I can broadcast the Super Bowl now to this fake TV that's sitting right here that does nothing. So when Super Bowl night comes on, people could be in the cafe watching the Super Bowl and listening to some music on the side that somebody's singing and subscribing to that person because they could shout out, hey, this is my YouTube, this is my TikTok.
Did you see they're going to be broadcasting the Super Bowl on big screen?
And that's in Horizon, right?
No, not in Horizon. There's another one called Big Screens. It's another app.
Oh, on big screen. Okay. I didn't see that.
Yep.
So how can we sell our music there? We don't. I'm just going to say that. Music don't sell anymore. And if it does, it's to people that have Apple devices that believe that music shouldn't be stolen. And, it's very few people, and I'm not just going to say Apple devices, but real people that say, hey, but go find those people. It's hard to do, right? We have Spotify, we have YouTube that literally need to be taken down. That's my opinion. Sorry that we even post these videos on YouTube. But I would rather not have YouTube than to have YouTube. If we're in the marketing for music, YouTube is destroying everybody's musical sales, and so is places like Spotify. And
if I may, so I know how you're saying like in the field of like with YouTube destroying the music and stuff like that, but I do want to bring up the point. Regardless of that being a platform where a lot of that interpretation of negativity when it comes towards music comes up, I'm just going to say there's always going to be some kind of person, some kind of deal where that is going to be an issue, regardless if it's YouTube or not. I'm not going to go into, of course, a whole story, but I do have to say that that's always going to be a problem. That's always going to be something that is going to be in a rise of an issue, of course.
Yep.
But
I mean, now it is
yeah.
as we live in the future. I mean, if we took YouTube down, Spotify down, something else would pop up. It's always going to be an issue. In the past, you'd have to use torrents. Okay, but that was a slow process. The internet has sped up so fast that you can download literally everything in a matter of a week. I mean, literally everything in the world, probably in a matter of a week. But we're gonna change and pivot. We're not gonna say, hey, we're gonna face these guys and we're gonna try to do this, we're gonna try to do that. No, we're gonna go around them. We're just gonna go around them, and we're gonna attach our music to objects because objects still sell. Physical objects and virtual objects still sell, and our music is attached to it. So they hear our song, they love it, they love you as a person, they love you as a musician, you're celebrity in their eyes, they follow you, you have your whole entire, I'm going to call it a cult gathering, like you have your cult for John Mayer, you have your cult for, Robin Williams, people that loved Robin Williams, this is an actor. But the thing is, the following has to happen. The following. If you don't have a following of at least 20 people, I mean, I don't care if you have 5 people following you, but 20 people to spread out. Hey, I like this band. I like this woman, I love this. This is great. You just need a little following. And, I mean, of course, the more you have, the more money you're going to make. But you're not really going to want to write music for nobody. Right? If you're going to do that, then you're not going to post it on YouTube for nobody to hear it. You're going to show your family, and hopefully your family likes that. Or maybe you just self-inspire. And I like writing for just me. But if you're writing for the money, then you're going to want to go around all these places that have basically destroyed the industry. And I think the best way to get back onto it is what I was talking about in many meetings ago, putting music on objects, creating new ideas and new things. I thought about, creating cards or lighters, little tiny things that you could just put a chip in there and your song plays. And maybe, what was it? Glennis talked about something. Hold on. It was on Shark Tank. Glennis, will you bring that up again? Your mic's muted.
You're muted.
I was on the full screen, so I could completely read the mind map, so I didn't have the. But I think what you're referring back to the couple that were creating. I think in this case it was just specific to birthday cards, but where you could go on to an app and fill out a basic form and then add additional information, with the person's name, their likes, and they would create a form that attached. I'm trying to think. I did send this to you. It's been so long.
Yeah, so
But
basically,
it could be like, like a 30-second, it could be a minute. You could buy the music that was created for the person you're wanting to give this to, this original piece, like in increments, could be 30 seconds, a minute, or more, but it would be, I don't know if they were copywriting it, where it would be unto that person. So that was a little different.
so basically the structure of what I then came up with was, let's write 20 songs that are basically ad-libbed, and people can buy these ad-lib songs for, Valentine's Day or a birthday or Christmas or just somebody that they're dating or maybe a marriage. And they can say, okay, I want this, and I want this here and this here and this here, and you go in as an artist and you sing over those certain things and you send it to them. Or they can ask for a whole song to be created. Or we can go sell a song as a whole in an NFT and create like a collection of songs and make it a collection and make it rare to find the last piece of the collection. So if I was to write a story, okay, and I was to use 6 songs to write that story, and I was to keep that 6th song to myself, and I was to sell those other 5 off at a small price in NFTs, that 6th song would be highly wanted because they'd want to finish their collection. And that's just a collection on Series 1. I'm talking about gamifying this big time. If we create a Series 2 collection, people will want both the first one and the second one. They would, we do it like movies. We do it like games. They want it. And so it's a strange way of thinking about how to create music, but maybe Fabrizio comes on and says, hey, I'm going to create some backtrack sounds for games. Okay, cool. And
That
he
would be
does
nice.
that. And he does that. He creates these backtrack sounds for games. And he says, you know what? I'm not going to sell them unless it's NFT. Because these are collector's items.
Mhm.
And people look at Fabrizio and go, it's Fabrizio. Fabrizio created that. It's his artwork. And if you want to hear more than 30 seconds of it, you have to buy it as a whole. And so they do. They come up and they purchase it. And they ask Fabrizio, how much do you want for all of it? And Fabrizio says, all of it's not for sale. But 5 out of 6, those are for sale. Okay, how much? And Fabrizio says 500. Okay, $500 it is. Fabrizio's doing a smart thing here. He takes that $500, he pockets it, and he waits. He waits for that guy to really want that 6th one. And then he ups the price to $200,000. Now, it's not that simple. It needs to rotate around. So let's say it needs to go into circulation. Your songs need to go into circulation. And it needs to meet different owners. And so one owner will go to another and say, hey, do you have part 3? And the other guy says, yeah, and I'll sell it to you for $50,000, you know? He goes, okay, I'll do it. And now he has part 1, 2, and 3, but he needs 4, 5, and 6. So he's now at the 4th one, and he gets that for 20,000. He gets the 5th one for, let's say, 100,000. But he's not telling anybody that he has 5 parts now. But you know that somebody out there has all 5 of them. Somebody, or many people. So you know when somebody comes and asks you finally for that 6th one, they have to tell you that they have all parts. Because if they don't, it's not for sale. Does that make sense?
No, but
Okay.
that's NFTs.
Well, let me tell
They
you
don't
this.
make sense.
Let me tell you this. If I had 4 bottles of Sprite,
It's supply and demand. It's a simple law of economics.
well, what I'm trying to say is if I had four bottles of Sprite, okay, and I have 5 actually. And these are the last bottles of Sprite on Earth. And I've had this happen before with me in Save the World. But you sell the 4 bottles off and you let them circulate. You don't sell the 5th one off unless you know for a fact that somebody has all 4. You just do not sell that 5th one off. You wait for somebody to collect them. You wait for the highest collector. And unless somebody comes to you with an offer that is just out of this world, then you're like, yeah, I'll do it. You know, so somebody says, I'll do it for $2 million, man. I just want it. You're like, okay, fine. I'm letting go of it. But you tell the person, well, here's the thing. I had 4 bottles of Sprite, or 5 bottles of Sprite. I have them. I gave 4 away. And I don't know where they're at. Do you have all 4? And they're like, I can't tell you that. Then I'm like, then I can't sell you the 5th. And if they say, okay, I have all 4, then you say, well, then the 5th is worth 200,000. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. It doesn't
That's when
make
you
sense.
put the price on it.
It doesn't make sense, but it does.
It makes it's stupid.
Yeah.
It's stupid and it works.
Right.
Because here's the thing. People are moving from physical objects to virtual objects because they have everything now. And when you kind of are bored of having everything, or maybe you have too much space. You've already filled up your shed, you filled up your closet, you're a collector, but you just have too much space. But maybe you want to show off your collection, but you don't want people at your house, and maybe you don't want to go buy a building, and maybe you're just a small collector. Well, people want to start going and collecting inside of the metaverse because they can show their collections off to other people and be like, look what I got. And you don't have that. And it's so simple, but it works. It's so stupid, but it works. That's how people's mental minds have grown to want things that don't exist but do exist, invisible objects that you can only see when you look at a screen. You can never physically touch them. With an NFT, it kind of works as this. If I was to create a painting, right, in the real world and take a picture of it, I own the original picture. Okay? And let's say to people, I said, okay, so I destroyed the physical object. And I can prove it because after I painted it, I did this whole recording. There's no editing or whatever. Or maybe I did a live show where I painted something, took a picture of it, and then burnt the picture or burnt the actual object. So it doesn't physically exist in this world anymore. It just digitally exists. And it's just one. Now I take that digital image and I do not distribute that to anybody. Instead, I upload that digital image into a pixelated form, which is a horrible copy of it, right? That can go around worldwide. That's fine. But nobody owns the original. And if they want the original, they can buy that as an NFT and it goes straight off of the card, literally, that it was taken on. And it gets mailed to them. And they own the one and only picture that was ever taken. And it's up to them if they want to distribute it or not.
Yeah, Banksy did it exactly this. He painted a huge painting, and then created an NFT of it, and then he shredded the painting.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's amazing what you can get away with these days. I'm just saying. So how can we sell music there? We don't. We sell our image, our merchandise, and we put our music out for free or as NFTs. Music just don't sell the way that it used to, and it will never do that again, I don't believe. So what sells is a product that the music is tagged along with. And if anybody has any questions, because Kevin just chimed in, which is amazing, I think that if Kevin wants to explore more on Studio One, by the way, just let me know, because it's super important that we get Studio One, as many people as we can, working with that platform so that we can integrate with each other and share projects. And for you too, Fabrizio, it's super important that we start creating, little bits of music here and there. We can have them as side projects, but what is our main goal? We don't have to be like, hey, we're all things music, because we're not all things music. We're not all things crypto, and we're not all things metaverse. You combine all of it together, and that's music, crypto, and metaverse.
Yes. I've just written 5 ringtones. 2 of them, well, Rob has listened to 2 of them, and he told me that he likes them. And I'm about to write, I'm gonna write more, and I'd like you to listen to them. But first, I have to go to my parents' house and record them there, because now that the sound quality is very low. But I've been working on them. Now I have 5 kind of ringtones that could be used as maybe soundtracks for video games. But we can do that, and I write them, and do my best. And I'd have to record them. I guess next week I'll be able to do that, maybe 10 days. And I'm working on that at the moment.
I want to point out one thing to you. People will come into the meetings and they will get great ideas, and they'll go out and they'll do it as fast as possible and try to do it faster than we can do it. We need to get this done before they get it done. And if we slack and they go and get a team and they go do it and they're stealing from us, there's nothing we can do about that. We just got to let it go. We got to let it be. We want to be number one, then we got to act like number one. We got to participate together as number one. And we have to focus on what's right in front of our face. This right now has been the longest meeting that I have talked in. I usually do 15 minutes and that's it. So just remember, guys, we have to get this done if we want to be on top. If we don't want to be on top, we're going to waste time. We're going to do it later, or we won't do it at all. But either way, if we do it later, we're not number one anymore. We want to be number one. We got to act quick. And that's not a sales pitch. That is literally from the numbers coming in from Horizon Worlds.
And that leads into the quote of the week. Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much, by Helen Keller.
Yep.
Exactly.
So, Marty, I'd very much appreciate some time so we can have some building lessons in this metaverse. And James, I'd like to sort of get to know what the stuff you're doing as well.
So today I have free time. And if you and James want to come in to my world, we can learn a little bit of building today. And if you guys, get good with the building, we can start learning short scripts. And then if you guys get good with short scripts, we can start learning big scripts. And these big scripts can do amazing things.
Mm-hmm. Great. I look forward to it. When's best for you?
Right after the meeting. If we all just want to join in, if Rob wants to come in, if James wants to come in, if Kevin wants to come in, and if you, Fabrizio, you want to join in, if you can get a hold of your Oculus.
I don't have it. Our son has it at the moment, but he has left it at my parents' house and I can't use it. And it would be awesome. I hope I will be able to do that with you as soon as I can, but currently I can't do that. But
Is there another way that you can get another Oculus that's, you know, just yours?
I don't know. I don't know. At the moment, I guess it's not possible. But I'm gonna ask him soon. When you know when the meeting is over, I will ask him because he has to explain me a lot of things and maybe
Okay.
yes, I hope to do that. But you know, I know that you are having fun because Rob told me about this thing and is very happy with it, and I'm sure that
I
it's a great place to start a new
yeah.
adventure. I've never experienced that, and it would be my first. Well, I tried it a couple of years ago, but it's not what you're talking about. It was just about video games, but this is different. And
So I do want to warn everybody that when James comes in, you can hear him. When Kevin comes in, you also can hear him. And when Rob comes in, it will scare the crap out of you. He sneaks up behind you. You don't know he's there. You're talking, and somebody says, "Hey, Lucian." And all of a sudden you're like, "What the?"
so, sounds like an ambush. Okay,
And
they're
then when you go to
threatening
find
us.
him, he's not there anymore.
Yeah. I'm like a
The ghost of
ghost.
the metaverse.
That's
I
right.
had a guy following me around the other day, and I was looking for Lazy Mobile, and he kept whispering in my ear,
Oh man.
"Do you want to buy a Maserati? Do you want to buy a Bugatti? Do you want a Maserati?" And I kept saying, "I'm like, who are? Wait, leave me alone."
In the
Creepy.
future, I will talk about rules in the metaverse that we have to follow on Horizon. And I also want to help you guys understand when certain topics come up, like racism, sexism, stuff like that, or sexual harassment, and what we do about that in that certain moment. Because there will be times that you will be targeted by because we have large groups, and if you go to ban somebody or boot somebody, you will be targeted by their posse, their gang, their group of friends. And we do have a record feature on our Oculuses. And so we just got to make sure that we're very careful and we hit that record button, because if you're reported, your world could go down. And if you don't have proof that you did absolutely nothing to these people, then they win, you lose. So it's much like security systems. We just have to have that security. And we got to be careful who we let on our team too, and what worlds we integrate with, because we want a good image for ourselves. We don't want to be like, oh wow, you guys are associated with that world over there. Those guys are bad people, and then you lose sponsors, you lose all kinds of people and everything. So these are things that I want to talk about in the future.
Sounds
And
good.
that's everything.
Well, thank you, Marty.
It's time.
Thank you, Martin.
Hey,
Martin,
great job.
I have a question for you. Can you hear me?
Yep.
I told you that I'm working on these ringtones or sound. They may sound like soundtracks for video games. Well, what do you think? The best way I can share them with you is Sibelius files or my recordings, which are not which are low quality ones.
Just send
What
them
do you prefer?
Just send them the recordings through Discord.
Yeah.
Through, Discord. I don't know how to do that, but
Email them to me.
Email. Okay, on Messenger. I can do that. I'm trying to do my best. Can you reproduce them once you get them?
It depends. It depends.
That's why I'm asking, because
yeah.
with the Sibelius files, you can listen to them and you have a score. At least you know what to do. So they're
Right.
very short, kind of 16, 20 seconds. And
so I'm a basic pianist. You are a master pianist, and so there's a huge difference.
Well, no, I mean, in this case, when it's not a big deal. Anyone could play that.
Okay.
But just to have an idea of what I'm talking about, because
Well, if we can get together and we can talk to each other, and I can turn on my camera. Okay, just me and you in a chat room. We can go through these songs one at a time, and I can pull up my studio and
You mean through Oculus? You mean through that
no,
device? No.
nope, through the real world.
Okay.
And we can
Okay. Yes, we
structure
can.
these songs, and I can play a note, and you'd be like, no, 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 it's not that one. Go one over. It's this, and I'm like,
No, well,
oh,
yeah, no, no. It's kind of ringtones and things that we can sell, and
yeah,
the people can use for their mobile phones, or you can develop them, or you can turn them into a soundtrack because the main idea is quite interesting. But because of the low quality of my recordings, you might not appreciate them, or you might not understand what's going on. So I was thinking about Sibelius file because that was the easiest way of letting you know about these short composition of mine. So I guess I've written 6 of them, but I'm gonna, and they're very different from each other. So I'm planning on writing 10, 12 of them, and every day I write one of them. So when I have the time to do that, I'm going um, to do it. So, okay, yes, that's a good idea. I'm going to do both
yeah.
things, record them and write them on Sibelius. And then we will share a meeting and we will confront each other and we'll talk about that. And we can
Okay.
build and develop these short composition, these short ideas, okay, musical ideas.
Right. So
Okay.
one more thing. This is the last thing for.
Mhm.
I had this thought, and I wanted
Mhm.
to share it with the group. I create a whole bunch of mind maps and about topics and stuff that we're gonna do. And Kevin said that he might want to, chip in a little bit and give
Sure.
give a meeting one day. But what I really want people to do is, if you can, if you have somewhere to be on Saturday, you know, and you're not going to be at the meeting, I would really appreciate it if you would please send the day before an email to me or to the group saying that you can't attend, so that I can take my mind map and say who's going to be all at the meeting. And maybe if I have like a mind map that I want to express to the whole group, I can put that off to the side, and then I can change my mind map to something else and then do a different mind map for a different week. And so I just kind of want to get like a head count at who's going to be at the meetings on Saturdays and the day
Okay.
before. If you can RSVP saying, hey,
Okay.
I don't think RSVP is important. I just think if you're not going to be there, just let me know so that
Or
I
let
can
me
get a
know.
head count. Right.
Oh, no, don't worry about that, Mario. I always do that. I tell Rob if I can't be at the meeting, and so I keep you updated. So don't worry about that because I'm very busy at the moment because we have a lot of things to do. But don't worry about that. Okay.
And if like future things, if we end up like canceling meetings or something because nobody's going to attend, I
Mhm.
think we can still do like a little podcast kind of thing where I can just give a little structure, whatever. We can still upload that to YouTube so that everybody can watch later on at what my topic was for that. And then we can discuss it the following week.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Don't worry. We stay in touch, Martin. I can write me on Messenger. Write me an email. I'm always talk to Rob every day. So we are always in touch. So there's no problem. If anything crosses your mind, okay, tell me. And yes, I can reschedule my day, and I can organize my day in a better way. So don't worry about that. So I'm gonna work on that, and I'm gonna send these ringtones over to you as soon as I can,
Okay.
and to Rob. I'm doing my best because we have been looking for this damn flat for our son, and it's been a very busy period and very we have been doing for that for, I guess, 4 or 5 weeks. And every Friday, every Saturday, every Sunday, we have meetings, we have appointments, we have to see a lot of flats. So it's quite frustrating, but it's going to end soon. I hope so. And, but I have something ready for you guys. Okay. But are we just the 3 of us? Are the others left?
It's Rob, me, James, Glennis, Kevin, and you.
Ah, okay, okay. Because I can see right on my screen. Okay. Yes.
So yeah, I build my mind maps around, I center them around what we talk about the previous week usually. Or I will do like maybe like 4 mind maps to do like a month's worth. And when certain people don't show up that I really wanted to talk to about certain things, I want to pivot as fast as possible to a different mind map so that I can save the one that I really wanted to share with everybody, you know. And the best way for me to do that is a day in advance so that I can just hurry up and write a new mind map for the group that is going to be there.
Okay, got it.
But that is everything. And yeah, just tell Rob if, you know, because I think you hang out with Rob more than you hang out with anybody in here. So, and James, I don't know. James is somebody that is, James, I'm picking on you. Super hard to get a hold of.
Yeah, right. I'm everywhere and I'm nowhere.
At the same time. No.
Actually, email is probably the easiest old school way. And texting. I've realized I have a bad habit of like I'll text somebody and they're in via. I can't get my messages to push into Meta.
Really?
Somebody needs to really. Do you get messages? Like if I text message your phone.
I do. I get them in the MetaVerse. If you text message me, yeah. It's
something I'm not activating.
Well, here's the thing. There's a thing going on where they're doing beta testing and they're selecting certain people. Now we're all in the same version, but we all have different things we can do, which is really weird. Like my watch is blue. Your watch might flip over and you might see something on your hand. I don't see that. I have to literally press my menu button to see a blue watch come up. Not everybody has that. Some people just flip over and there's the watch. And you have laser pointers pointing at your keyboard. I don't have that. I have to physically touch them. So I think they're trying to get feedback by the people on what's better. But yeah, anybody else want to add anything?
I think we're good. All right, guys. Thanks again for another meeting. Appreciate your time. And we'll see you in the metaverse.
Yeah, probably jump in a little while.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Let me say hi to Glynis, Kevin, James, and thank you for being here. Thank you, Rob.
Yes, hello. And yes, everyone, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Be safe.
Same to you.
Nice to talk
Oh,
to you.
guys, have fun in the meta world. Okay. And Rob, you will tell me about that tomorrow. And
Sure.
Because I'm really well, I would like to share this experience with you because you know it must be awesome. And well, I can't wait to do that. Okay. And fun, guys. Have fun and have a great weekend, all of you. Okay.
All right. Ciao.
All righty.
Thanks
Take
a
care,
lot.
everyone.
Ciao. Ciao, everybody.
All right, bye.
Marty and James, I'll see you later on.
All righty.
Right. See you in a bit. Bye.